The Asians, for I can tell you because I'm in touch with China, with Asia, with all the time.
We live in the United States.
No, I'm talking about Asian people in this country. They think that Trump's the biggest comedy in the history of America. So,
that's for sure. I talk to many people from different countries. They consider Trump as a joke. And when you listen to people from different countries, like you're so embarrassed, but here inside of the country, I travel through, like, you have signs of Trump. People support Trump because they trust Trump, because there is nobody who connect.
Not anymore.
Okay, Jeffrey.
I don't believe. I
because
believe
you're sitting in the boat. You like this?
No, because I'm watching also, and they're having.
You're watching.
They're interviewing people from in the other part of the country, and everybody, even the Republican people who wanted to vote for him, say, I don't believe in him anymore.
Jeffrey, listen. They taken people to support their interviews, because I traveled through the country 1 month ago.
How many people did you meet?
It's not just me. You have signs, Trump. You have sticker bumpers. You go through different, like Oklahoma.
Bumper stickers.
Bumper stickers. I apologize. It doesn't matter for me. I don't know anything. So you have signs on the porches. It's like you go through real people, places, and they believe in Trump.
But you're going through the few places in the country that he'll probably get the vote.
14 states. I went through 14 states.
But you only went through a couple of roads on those states. And the people that are near the highways, those are not the people near the cities.
Okay, so let's say you're right, but my point, even I will vote for Biden today. I don't like the guy. The guy is from yesterday. He's where's Barack? Where's he doesn't know where is he.
I don't agree. I mean, look, I've been listening to Biden's interviews.
He's sick. He's old and he's sick.
And what is Trump? He's senile.
But again, Trump. Trump. This is a person who says beat me.
He's an
bite me.
but he's nothing more than a very, very stupid entertainer. He knows nothing. I'm reading the book by his niece.
I don't need the book to understand. He knows nothing. He talks. Hold on.
But when he was in high school, his sister did all his homework. He had people cheat for him to get him into college.
I didn't.
Not one. And then the first thing he did when he got into office is he threatened lawsuits against all the schools he went to that they may not release his transcripts. Now, why would they do that? If his transcripts were as brilliant as he said he is, you would think he said, release him. Let everybody see him.
Listen. You don't have to read this book to understand Trump has no education. His language, vocabulary is level from the kindergarten. This is a good guy. This is people. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be brilliant. He doesn't have any vocabulary, any education. But why can't any Republican was able to beat him on primaries in 2016? Why nobody can beat him now?
Because he was a better entertainer then. But now,
beat the entertainer.
But now, as
what happened to his education?
But now, as they say, that shtick has worn a bit thin. Nobody takes it seriously anymore. It's nothing more than a shtick, and everybody sees it.
But my point to you, and I want to just end the segment. It's just my point that other part, Democrats, they don't bring anything solid to the table. It's so funny. On the second debates, primary debates, they talked about if you cross the border, it should be administrative punishment. They for open borders, and there is nobody real person who says hey, the country shouldn't have the borders. It's
right now, from what I understand, I have a T-shirt that I bought in Mexico when I was there last time, and it says, "Now you're on the fun side of the border." Everybody's trying to get back into Mexico.
But you see, but you're making fun of the serious situation where you're serious and smart people talking about the open borders. normal person will say, listen, these guys need some medicine.
There has never really been open borders.
Yeah, but again, like,
I mean, who's coming in? Who's coming?
No, but
First of all, now to go back to that, you have to realize that everybody who worked in the Trump properties, they were all mostly illegal aliens. All the people that he hired, because he would only hire the cheapest people he can find, and the best workers were Mexicans and people from South America.
I disagree that the best workers are the best workers. They
the
have
only ones
no
who would
country.
work. No, they would only for building. My father was a builder. Everybody who worked for our factory in Miami was from Cuba.
Okay, so like now we're going like, so are you for open borders?
But there are no open borders. Where do you get open borders?
I'm getting it from the second debate of
Yeah, but
Democrats.
the reality is that if you want to come into this country, you have to go through the border control and be able to come in.
Jeffrey,
They can't anymore.
Jeffrey, you see, you ridicule Trump for everything he says, but when you're talking about, like, when you listening people where you say that they're knowledgeable and this, they, that, and they say like it should be administrative punishment for illegal immigrants.
Okay, well, here's what I know is happening, because I've been following all like in the farming communities, especially in the Southwest and the Southeast. Farms are dying now because there's nobody now left to be able to do the work that needs to be done in the fields on the farms. Why? Because if they show up in the fields, ICE comes and arrests them. So there's nobody there to pick crops. There's nobody there to do any work. And the farmers can't possibly hire Americans to do it because Americans won't work that cheap. Now what?
Okay, it's no now what? Like you go to the Ralph's or other stores, the food is still there. So how did the food come to you if you say that all the farms closed down? Who brought the food to you? If it's like suddenly ICE came and took all the immigrants out, illegal immigrants.
That's what's going on. I mean, First of all, we're looking at food that was harvested last year or before.
Yeah, 100 years ago.
No,
Listen,
it's called antique food.
Yeah. But the point is this: you see, you're spinning the issue where like brilliant, in your opinion, people talking about open borders.
I don't think open borders is a fair comment. Nobody agrees to open borders.
But they don't.
No,
Okay.
you're wrong. Not the Democrats.
Watch the second debates.
Fuck the debates don't count anymore.
But that's what
the
people.
debate. Yeah, but the debates were before the COVID virus. Very simple. We're talking about the debates where we're 6-7 months ago. It doesn't count. That time is
It
gone.
doesn't count. What they say don't count.
The only debates that are going to count are the debates between Biden and Trump. And I believe that Biden will eat Trump alive. And then what's Pence going to talk about? You know that the vice presidential choice for Biden is going to be so much better than the vice president we have now, because the only thing the vice president can do now is every time he opens his mouth, he goes like this: Trump.
Yeah, Biden needs like some kind of like military adrenaline, like in the movies.
He's so smart. He's staying home and he's letting Trump bury himself. He's brilliant. Just like Trump. just like Trump in the last election.
Biden is so smart.
No, just
oh my
like
God.
Trump. He's a very intelligent man. Right. Absolutely. You know, I mean, he's a very well-educated man. He knows. I'm sure that man has actually read the Constitution, and he passed so much stuff when he was in Congress.
I saw somewhere like on the internet, Biden 50 years in Congress, Nancy Pelosi like 30 or 40 years in Congress, like all the people 40, 50, 30 years in Congress, and we like as a nation couldn't get like nothing done. So what is going on?
Yeah, but it's not their fault. We don't get anything. We don't get anything done because every single bill that Congress comes out is sitting on the floor of Mitch McConnell's office, and they're not even allowed to vote on it.
That idiot is also like, I apologize, said idiot. Like maybe he's the brightest guy, but again, he's another brick in the wall. He's another guy who sits.
Unfortunately, that brick is a gold brick, because if he doesn't let a bill even be put on the floor of the Senate, it has no chance of even being
So
voted on.
can we-
So
can-
most of this stuff is being completely sabotaged by Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, but can we agree that there is no Republican Party, and
Yes.
they afraid that if they just let go Trump, they have no leader who would just say shit and get away with it.
I think what's going to happen in November, it's going to be a bloodbath for what's left of what was once the Republican Party. I believe that the Democrats will take over the Senate, they will take over the Congress, and probably the White House also.
The Republican Party, who was standing for, and you give me with words, help me with words, what they standing for?
Well, they used to stand
conservative.
They used to stand for fiscal.
Responsibility.
Not anymore.
They would say like you have to earn your money to like not to get money for free, but get the tools to earn the money. But the Republican Party died when they passed that tax bill, and back then Speaker, what is his name, Ryan. Ryan, and he was like talking, and he's very eloquent, very like nice person, like he's like a face of Republican Party, young and well spoken, and he said like this, let me think, with this bill, that tax bill, we put in a bread on the working family table, and I'm thinking, fuck. They giving away money and putting the bread on the every working family table. Isn't it the Democrats supposed to give free money to somebody? Now Republicans became Democrats. They
Well, worse than that. There's no way to look at this country and to look at our situation now without looking at everything in terms of the pandemic. The pandemic has changed the world as we know it. It doesn't matter almost what profession you're on, unless you have an office job that you can do from your home. Anybody who worked from their home before is not affected.
But you're not.
But everybody who actually, like musicians, performers, athletes, mechanics, anything that where you're required to be in any group of people, their professions are over. I was driving here today from where I live in Palos
By yourself?
in Palos Verdes. I couldn't believe how many stores along Pacific Coast Highway, everything's closed, and it says closed.
Jeffrey,
Terrible.
but that's the point. It's not about, you see, that's why like reading my book where I state like everything, like how to get back with the healthcare, illegal immigration. But the point is the country got like separated on the bodies, and there is no right and wrong. It's like you're right if you're Republican. It doesn't matter like what you believe in. But if you vote in Republican, you support Republican, and you're right just by default. And then there is the Democrats, and they're fighting like and like we are talking about pandemic. There is nobody, like people have to be on the same table, working with the strategy for the country. It's all split up.
Look, it's easy to get control of this pandemic. That's the sad thing. It's actually easy. I was
Discipline.
I was literally on the phone with friends of mine in Switzerland just now. I was on the phone with my friends of mine in Germany, friends of mine in England. Italy, which was the worst in the world, is now control, and everything is opening up. Why? Because everybody's wearing masks. They don't politicize masks. Everybody realizes you put a mask on, you'll survive.
Yeah, because it's all political, and Trump is mostly in fault. But you see, the problem is this: he needs to level with the other people.
Trump
Hold on, can we-
but let me just say one
Okay.
thing. I believe that Trump could get reelected in 5 seconds. Of
course, I agree with you.
No, but 5 seconds if he would take control of the whole pandemic and do everything correctly and logically. But he doesn't make another speech
And
about
he
it.
could.
He puts all he has to do is put Fauci and the best doctors and up there, and then you have to do exactly what they say. There's no choice. You get fined if you don't wear a mask. You get fined if you show up in a group of more than 5 or 10 people and things like that. And that's it. And you have to do this for for probably 3 to 4 weeks, because it's going to take 3 weeks to find out whether it worked. But it worked everywhere else in the world when they did it. Every place. South Korea, even China, which was very, very worried about Hong Kong and everything else. We're worried about getting 10,000 people infected in one night in Florida. They worry when they get 3 people infected, and the virus started there.
Jeffrey, the point is this: the country is so politicized, and there's nothing being done because it's all political. Depend what I just said.
Political by who?
But anybody, you see, like we had like the biggest standoff, like in a shutdown in the government. It was big because Trump stood on one side, Pelosi and Schumer stood on the other side, and they wouldn't give anything just to open up the government. The same thing now. They fighting for being right. But
I don't agree, because it wasn't just Pelosi that did that; it was McConnell.
And McConnell, but it doesn't matter.
No, but that's the point, because Pelosi has had no control over that. The only person who has control of whether things open or close is not the Congress; it's the Senate. Not the Congress can come up with the ideas. I want this. I want this. I want this. But if the Senate doesn't do it, it doesn't happen. But so McConnell had 10 times more power than Pelosi.
Okay, so what's the point then? So it's all on Trump and McConnell.
Yes.
So
now you've answered the question. Now you have the same thing. You say
so
all the ideas in your book. You think these guys are going to read the book? You have to realize McConnell is completely supported by the gun lobby. His head is buried in these lobbyists and financial institutions. He doesn't care what happens to the country as long as he can get reelected, and he's up for reelection, and he has a chance of losing this time.
Yeah, but if you go again, Democrats, they not for the country, they going for real left. And people are afraid being left.
They're not. If they were going real left, then it wouldn't be Biden as the nominee.
I agree with. This is a fair comment, but again, I feel like because he's repeating all that talking points from what is his name from this guy Elizabeth Warren and
no, but he's not repeating those points at all. He was completely against the Elizabeth Warren idea and the Bernie Sanders stuff and things like that. Biden is nowhere near that mentality. Biden is really, if anything,
in the middle, kind of.
He's middle, which is what we need.
Yeah.
It's everything that you talk about in your book.
Yes, I agree, but
he is more open to your ideas than Trump would ever be, or that the leftist Democrats would ever be.
And I will. That's why I said I'm voting for
Just
Biden.
get him to read your book.
Yeah, but he's not there yet. He's not there. He's not. Wherever he's proposing, it's preposterous. It's not gonna work.
But what is it? You say that. Name one thing that he's proposed.
I said he says I'm gonna raise 28% on the corporate tax, and this is it's gonna kill.
But first of all, one thing I've learned I spent 4 years in Washington during Nixon and Ford, and the one thing I learned is that if you want to get something done in Washington, and I was told this by the people who work in Washington, the presidential press secretaries and things like that, if you want to get something done, you ask for something that you know can't possibly happen. And then you compromise to something that will actually work. Because if you say I'm going to raise the taxes 14%, they will complain the whole time about the 14%. But if you say 28% and then you compromise the 14%, they say yes.
Yeah, but it's when you already elected person. But when you're going for re-election or election, you have to say something smart, something that you will not be.
Okay, let me ask you this. So you're telling me that the government is not paying a whole lot more than 28% now? That with the unemployment, the extra $600 a week for everybody in the world, it's costing them so
Jeffrey,
much more than 28%.
It's not about that. He says, you see, the problem is this. You making a point that Trump is a crazy person, says things that not there. But I'm telling you, whenever Biden says 28%. It's the same thing. It's not there. Just shut up, say something smart, don't say stupid stuff. And you said like
That's the only thing that you can say about him
but
that's
but
stupid.
that's where like Trump will say, listen, he wants to like raise your taxes. He's the bad guy, and everybody wouldn't like they wouldn't know
yeah, but
about
right now people can't pay any taxes because they're all unemployed.
right. But the point like why you talking about 28%?
But it's
connect.
not 28% for the average person. He's talking about 28% for corporations. It'll never get passed, and he knows it.
But don't say that.
But I believe that we're still very very early in the campaign.
But what you
because
gonna-
everything happens. Everything happens in the last months when they finally have a presidential debate. Trump against Biden. Then he's going to have to be realistic. Right now, he can say anything he wants.
Yeah, but you see, that's the thing. When Trump says something crazy, you kind of like say, hey, this guy says crazy. I'm telling you, when you say like something idiotic, I will raise 20. Listen to me.
I'm listening.
28%. What you gonna do? You will turn against you all the corporations which pay right now 21%. So the corporations will say like, listen, we don't know what Biden will do also against us, but we know what Trump is gonna do for us. So we rather like stay with Trump because he pro corporations. And you like
but he might be pro corporations, but everybody in the country does not work for corporations. Most of the people in this country live off of their paychecks doing simple jobs and things like that. That's not for corporations. The corporations control a small segment of the society. And there's all kinds of things we could say about corporations, like how to make corporations more fair. The corporations are in trouble also because every time they get money from the government, they say, oh, we're going to increase this production, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. No, they don't. They just use the money to buy back their own shares so that 1%.
Where did you hear about that?
So, it's all over. That you can read everywhere.
No, you have to read in my book.
Well?
That's because that's what I was talking about when everybody say like Trump, he's a brilliant, he's genius, lowering the taxes, and I'm saying like, listen, it's not coming back to our country.
But you know what this is? That this is Reaganomics all over again, and Reaganomics didn't work in the time of Reagan.
I know, but the point like right now, what I'm saying, like we're trying like to say Biden is a smart guy. And I'm telling you, wherever he says now, it will not work. I'm betting it as today, Trump will be re-elected. Even I will vote for Biden, because Biden doesn't say smart stuff.
Yeah, but I thought, in the case of what you're talking about, you've got a point. The only thing is that this next election is not going to be based on taxes at all. This next election is going to be based on two things and nothing else. Two things will decide who the next president's going to be, and it's not going to be everybody says the economy's stupid. No, the economy is number three. The first thing is going to be the pandemic. The second thing is going to be actually everything is the pandemic. The next thing is going to be education. The next thing is going to be healthcare, and last will be the economy. Because if nobody has healthcare, and if nobody is able to walk out of their house without fear of getting killed or dying, then that's what matters to everybody.
Okay,
now.
Jeffrey, in 2 months there will be vaccine. Okay, already like there will be vaccine. It's like they said like antibodies already working, so there could be vaccine like in 2-3 months. So at that moment, people say like, oh, we're not gonna die. That there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, so
but knowing Trump and the way he's acting right now, even if they come with a vaccine, there'll be no way to get the vaccine because Trump will never have the government working to actually make the equipment to give you the vaccine. And that unless a private company can come up with a way to inoculate 300 million people, but no one's going to get a vaccine.
Jeffrey,
unless Trump can get a commission on each shot.
Okay, it's a like point is this: the economy is in trouble for long time, like for decades, and right now, like what's going to happen? They pouring the money into the economy, pouring the money, like giving like free money like to people. The government now is a drug dealer, and the drug is the money. They putting people on drugs. one time they give them like free money, it's good. Second time, like it's better. And the third time they're not given, and people asking for money. Where's my free money? They putting people on drugs, and then like Trump will say, listen, I'm gonna give you free money, and people will run to vote for Trump.
You know what
That's
I
it.
think is going to happen? Soon, everybody's going to want to join the military. Everybody's going to want to join the military. It's the safest place to be. First of all, you get a free gun. Second of all, you get a free uniform. You get food. You get everything you need. You get unlimited
travel around
more
the
than
world.
that. More than that, you have free health care. Who wouldn't want to be in the
And
military?
traveling around the world for free.
Yeah.
So let's end the segment. So
Okay,
like,
so anyway, that's our thing for the next segment, which we hope to do very shortly. The next segment, I hope, will be all about Sasha's book and all the reason that he has to present now his ideas on every single thing. We don't talk about what Trump did. We don't talk about the left. We don't talk about the right. We talk about the
country.
middle.
Yeah.
We talk about what's the name of the book again?
the
Purple Vision.
The problem is, yeah, it just.
And then the next thing to do is that everybody, you have to write to your congressman, you have to write to your everybody you know, and you say, read the bloody book.
The purple bloody book. Thank you so much, guys.